Alright guys, so we have finally reached the final card of the Peppy Gals or Waifu update here. Here we have Android 18, who, wasn't really a terrible unit before her Dokkan Awakening, but she certainly does get pretty damn good after her Dokkan Awakening. I would actually dare say she may be the best Android 18 in the game. I think that the Tournament of Power Android 18 is probably still a little better, but I certainly do want to test that out, right? I want to see and compare this Android 18 to the Tournament of Power Android 18, and kind of see which one is stronger, because they both are nukers. This TEQ Android 18 right here, she gets a lot more stats per orb, but the Tournament of Power Android 18, she has already a big base of attack and defense, whereas this 18 doesn't. So let's go ahead and level her up and test her out in an event. Alright guys, so we're going to take this Android 18 on the Android category team. Now, I was actually thinking real hard of how exactly to show this Android 18 off, right? Because she is very good, and she doesn't need to be on the Peppy Gals team to be very good. But on the Peppy Gals team, this Android 18 could probably hit and defend incredibly hard. So 18 gets 14. She gets 14% attack and defense per key sphere, which is pretty good, right? Then she gets an additional 1% per orb, both attack and defense, per Peppy Gal category leader on the team, right? So on a Peppy Gal category leader team, she's going to be getting 21%. Like on a full Peppy Gal team, she'll get 21% attack and defense. That's ridiculous. Now, obviously, we're not on the Peppy Gals category team, so 18's not going to get that full buff, but I think we could probably have her do more damage here on the Android category team, just with several different Peppy Gal category characters, right? So we have Base Form 21, we have Transform 21, we have 18, and we got Future 18. So basically those are 4 characters. That means this 18 is going to get 18% attack and defense per orb. Now, even though it says 14% on her passive, remember that in reality, it is 15% she's going to be getting no matter what, because she herself counts as a Peppy Gal category unit, right? Another thing to remember too is that the evil Android 21, the one that is an Android category leader as well, she is not on the Peppy Gal category, Peppy Gal category, even though honestly I think she should be. I mean, listen, evil 21 is just as hot as normal 21. She's actually probably hotter, right? So I don't think she should necessarily not be there. Now, one issue, of course, one reason why TEQ 18, I think, does get an advantage over... I said TEQ 18, but they're both TEQ. One reason the Tournament of Power 18 gets an advantage over this 18 is because the Tournament of Power 18, she creates orbs herself, right? She turns, physical orbs into tech orbs, so that'll allow her to get that higher attack power. Alright, so right around 400,000. She also has a new super attack, which is very nice. It does look pretty good. How much damage will she take? 6,000, okay. I'll be very curious to see how she does rainbowed. I don't know. I feel like she might actually hit harder than the Tournament of Power 18. I think the Tournament of Power 18 probably would end up being a bit better, again, just because she's an orb changer. She also does just have that baseline of stats, I think is very useful. And her links are going to be a little better, because that Android 18, she definitely has Tournament of Power, but does she have Shocking Speed? Does second Android 18 have Shocking Speed, the Tournament of Power one? No, she doesn't, but she does have, again, the Tournament of Power link, which is hugely important. Okay, so I want to get the future Android 18 over on the same rotation, obviously, as the TEQ 18. That will allow us to build up a little bit more orbs for, this 18 to potentially get a lot more damage in. Another thing she does is she raises her attack and defense by 30% for 6 turns. So that stack is not too bad at all. That's a nice little stack there. So that, she will be able to go ahead and, get that to stack a couple of times. So that will make her just offensively and defensively a little bit better. Also, I am running her along with 17. So yeah, her defense is 32k without getting any orbs. That's okay, because I'm looking at what 21's defense is. Alright, well, all we could get is these 4 right here. Let me see how much it jumps up to. 44k. Alright, and of course, that's with 17, who does give a defensive buff to all allies. So, and she's around 370,000. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to rainbow this 18 and kind of like do an actual test of which one is better. I like what they did with this 18. They gave her a lot of potential. Having a massive buff per orb like that, 21% per orb is a very, very high number, right? Like she could definitely do some damage. And then here's Lab Coat 21. Because we could use her alongside the transformed one, I did decide to keep a spare copy of her around. She's going to take a lot of damage right here, though. Oh, yeah. We took quite a bit of punishment right there. We should be okay, though, because, remember, LR Cell, he does go ahead and heal on his 12-key super. The good 21, she also heals, but we're not going to make it that far. We should be okay. I actually did consider at one point possibly rainbowing the human Android 21, her non-transformed form, but I don't particularly run her that much, right? So like I'm not gonna end up just like rocking her all the time. So that's why I have not rainbowed her. Okay, so didn't really get great luck here with the orbs. Here, let's try this. Again, that's not the best. We'll do this. Oh, and we got shafted. Great. Do I need to heal? No, we're good. We're good. All right, well, I tried to get 18 as many orbs as possible. I guess this is another reason why maybe the Android category team wouldn't work quite so good. Whereas compared to the Peppy Gal team, you do have Kefla around who could create some orbs. Of course, we would have future Android 18 still on that team to create some orbs. You need someone to set this Android 18 up in order for her to be able to get all the necessary orbs to really inflict that crazy damage. That is one thing you do have to consider there. So that's why nuking units usually, I'm not the biggest fan of them, and that's why Tournament of Power 18 is so good, because she already has a nice baseline of power. What does that Android 18 have? She has an attack and defensive buff of 70% right out of the gate. So she's good to go, right? Like if you can't get her any orbs, she could still, actually contribute to the team. But like this Android 18, it's just not going to be the same. I am actually going to heal right here, just because this 21 is very, very weak. I'm running at the end. Like without having given her any orbs or anything like that, I'm sure like if LR Gogeta supered her, she'd take 200k. So I do need to be just a little bit more cautious bringing her into this event. So I don't know. I will, at further notice, I'll test it out. I don't know if I'm going to use any tech orbs on this 18 right now, though. Although she's another unit who I think would help out tremendously in the Peppy Gals category Super Battle Road. I think she'll probably also be pretty damn good in the Android category Super Battle Road, provided, of course, that you do have her rainbowed. A unit like that, the nukers, they do get a lot better, once they've actually been rainbowed. That'll help her build up, her stats to a respectable amount to where she's not going to be getting crushed. And usually, nukers like 18 actually are able to defend pretty damn good once they're rainbowed and they start building up, getting all those orbs and stuff. Let's see, her rainbow defense is 8,500. That's not the greatest, and her attack is 12,600. That's also very, very low. That's right near the bottom of summonable units, actually. And her 12-key multiplier is 130%. Jeez, yeah, yeah, okay. Tournament of Power 18 is definitely better, because I just looked at her stats. She has 13,200 attack, and she has over 10,000 defense. So, and she has a 12 multiplier of 140%. So yeah, Tournament of Power 18 definitely better, but this Tech 18 right here is probably going to be a good substitute for her. But that Tournament of Power 18, they made her, like, her awakening is just so good. I've been impressed with her since day one. The other weird thing about this Android 18, by the way, so her SSR art, I believe that is after Android 18 fights Vegeta, and she leaves with 16 and 17, and she wants to find new clothes because her clothes were damaged in the fight with Vegeta, right? I believe that I could just bring up her card art now with the new feature. So I believe that's when she's trying on dresses. There is also a scene where future Android 18 is trying on clothes. It's been a while since I've seen the Trunks TV special, though. This might be from there, but I'm pretty sure this is from just normal DBZ, not the Trunks special. But this right here, this is from the Trunks special. This is future Android 18 right here. So that really triggered me. It's like, hello? You know, there's barely any future Android 18 cards, but there's certainly a lot of regular Android 18 cards. They could have made this a future Android 18. That would have been cool. Yeah, especially since that's literally future Android 18 right there. That's from the Trunks special. So this is where Gohan loses his arm. That it was this fight right here when he approaches 18 and 17 while they're at the fair, the carnival or whatever. So this is Refreshed Innocence Android 18. Her leader skill is Tech and Physical Type Key 3, HP Attack and Defense 60%. Very, very good for Dokkan Battlefield as a sub-leader skill, by the way. Her super attack, the Energy Wave, does supreme damage and raises attack and defense by 30% for 6 turns. Her passive skill, Feeling Good Today, is 14% attack and defense per key sphere obtained, and then she gets an additional 1% per Peppy Gal's category ally on the team. Of course, you got a full Peppy Gal team. That will give her a buff of 21% per orb. Remember that she herself counts, so the minimum that she gets, even if you have her on a team that only has her as a Peppy Gal category unit on it, she will give herself 15% attack and defense, because these units always count themselves in the passive. That's something I really like. Her links are Android Assault, Twin Tears, The Innocence, Battlefield Diva, Infinite Energy, and Shattering the Limit. So mostly rubbish. That's the only problem with these Android 17 and 18 units. Their links are just so damn bad. Just filled with crap like Android Assault, 1,000 defense, Twin Terrors, 2-key, Infinite Energy, 2-key. Just absolute fodder level, because she's a nuker anyway. She has to have a ton of orbs in order for her to do damage. So she doesn't need keys. She needs attack links right there. That's something that does, you know, kind of hold her back a bit. And her 12-key multiplier is 130%. Which is very bad for a unit that you'd want to hit hard. That certainly will hold her back and allow the Tournament of Power 18 to hit harder, since the Tournament of Power 18 has the 140% 12-key multiplier. Now, 18 is on 2 categories. We have her here on the Peppy Gal category. Of course, 18 should be on there. I'm still mad that GT Android 18 is not on there. I don't care. Oh, she looks like a mother. She looks like she should be asking for, you know, your manager, you know, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. 18 is fine as hell. GT 18 should be in the Peppy Gals category. You cannot fight me on this. And then, of course, she's also on the Android category, which makes sense because, hey, she's an Android. So, there we go, guys. There is the final Android category unit. Peppy Gal category unit from this newest update. Awakened, looked at, broken down. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.